everybody. Everybody, hello. Welcome to part 2?
This is part 3.
Part 3 of Afghan Calling. Yes, of
Well,
course.
we had
a pilot.
yeah.
No, we had a pilot, Mum.
We had a pilot, all right.
We had a pilot, of course we did. We had to see what the ratings were like. That's how it works. TV, isn't it? So, hello, everybody. Very special one. We're honoured tonight to have quite a legend with us, Miss Annie Beavis. Hello, Annie. Everyone wave at Annie there.
Hi, Brian. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So it's strange though, because when I watch this now, I've got Lindsay to my right, and you're underneath me, Mum, not for the first time, and Annie's diagonally to me. But when I watch it back, you're all in different places.
It
happens to me too.
There we are then.
Me where you are. So let's go around the room. Boss, where are you tonight?
I'm in Sheffield, keeping it together by a fraction of a hair after putting the film out today. So I hope everyone enjoyed the trailer. Coming out next week.
And have you got your pyjamas on underneath that?
No, I have not. I don't. And my feet haven't touched the ground today.
Okay.
Mum?
I'm in sunny Hythe, and I've been swimming today, and so I feel blessed because I've been in the ocean. So I'm stressed but blessed.
You smell of the sea. You smell of the sea.
No, I've had a shower.
Okay. And who's this legend before me?
Well, we're down in very sunny West Sussex. So I've been sitting in the garden this afternoon, knitting, as per usual.
Of course.
Having a good time, so yeah.
Knitting in your new house. How have you been now?
We moved in on January the 10th.
So it feels like home now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Good. So how we're going to do? We got loads. We asked the group for loads of questions, and obviously they gave us a lot of questions because people want to know a lot about Annie. So Lindsay and Louise are going to wonderfully answer these questions, and I'll just chip in when I need to.
Okay.
And then obviously you'll get the quick fire at the end because no one gets away with that one.
Excellent.
So thank you for being here. And who's got the first question?
Me. I've got first question for Annie. We would like to know, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay. I always wanted to be a teacher from a very, very young age. I can remember watching one of these charity appeals on the television when I was probably 8 or 9. And I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to look up, and it was for handicapped children, for mentally handicapped children. And that's what I decided I wanted to do. I wanted to work with them. I wanted to teach. And that's what I did. I trained to be a teacher for special educational needs children. Excuse me. But after my final teaching practice, when I was working with children who were aged 14 to 16 but had mental ages of 2.5 to 6, they weren't taken care of after the age of 16. And I went to visit 2 students who left, and the care it wasn't care. And I got very, very upset and decided, actually, I can't do this. I cannot stimulate these children and give them some kind of help to enjoy their lives more than they probably could if they didn't have the stimulus of a school. And it was just shocking. So that was the end of that dream. So I went into mainstream teaching, but always looked after the children who had dyslexia or had autistic traits or just needed a bit of extra love and care. So teaching, and then also wanted to be an actress.
Oh.
Which leads me on to my next question, actually, which was, you used to work for the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School. That's right, isn't it? And basically what people would like to know is, what was what has been your favourite acting role and why?
Okay, so rewind a little bit. So I was teaching up until the age of 50.
Mm-hmm.
and then decided I would call it a day and go and train as an actress. So fortunately got onto a course, auditioned, got onto a course. Within that year, though, my school contacted me and said, is there any way I could go back and do a bit of supply teaching because somebody had broken their hip and then somebody else had fallen pregnant, and could I do this? So I put down the rules and said, yeah, I'm very happy, but I still have to do my drama work. It then kind of dawned on me that if I got roles, you know, in rep theatre, I would have to leave the kids because they were still at school or college. So I thought, nah. So I just do it semi-professionally and as a hobby. So I think, going back to your question, one of my favourite roles was a character called Mrs. Swab in Habeas Corpus by Alan Bennett. Now, she's the kind of maid, housekeeper, and the group I was with decided that we'd do it in a Lancashire accent. My accent work is atrocious. So every time I went off stage and I came back on again, I would have a different accent. I went to Wales, I went to Ireland, I went to Lancashire, I went to Scotland, I went to India, and I became more and more decrepit, like, what's her name? Julie Walsh? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. Overall?
Yeah, Acorn Antiques, yeah.
Well, the audience thought it was hysterical. I think I hammed it up a bit, but I did enjoy that.
Well, when you auditioned for your drama at school, what was your audition? What did you have to do?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I did a scene out of Blithe Spirit, and I also did a scene from Hamlet when I was Ophelia.
Can you sing? Can you sing as well?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. All the musical. Yes.
And the other role that I think I've had the most fun with, I put photographs up recently, when I was in a show called Fat Shirley, a trailer park opera, from an unknown region of the South. And I played a character called Inez. And I had to sing a song, and my song was all about having a runny nose. I'm not going to sing it now. I will spare you all that, but that was hysterically funny.
Brilliant. What was that accent? Was that Welsh?
Thanks.
Oh, well, I will now lead on to, what bands did you see before you became a mummy? What was you into when you was young?
In 1975, it was 10 days between two gigs. They were both in Earl's Court. The first was Led Zeppelin.
Oh, cool.
And then 10 days later, on the 29th of May, it was the Osmonds.
Oh my God, so from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, I can imagine the Osmonds were wonderful, though.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
In their prime.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, they were. They were. And then Adamant, 10cc, Genesis at Nebworth, James Taylor in Saratoga Springs, upstate New York.
And Steve Harley.
Steve Harley, Cockney Rebel.
I'm massive.
So did you obsess over bands the way people obsess over idols, and the way we all sort of like follow them on tours?
No.
Did you do that with anyone? No.
No, I mean, I've got all the Led Zeppelin LPs. I've got all of the Osmonds LPs. Sorry. Most of Genesis, most of Steve Harley, Cockney Rebel, most of Supertramp. But we have such an eclectic taste in music. I mean, I've I grew up listening to opera and Gilbert O'Sullivan, an old-time musical. That's what my dad was into. And then, of course, I had an elder brother who was 2 years older than me, and he was into Mott the Hoople and Mark Bolan, and, you know, I just love it. And now Fairport Convention,
Oh, I love
and
Fairport
Show of
Convention.
Hands, and
So so John obviously played the drums. Was there anyone else in the family that played stage music? Just John was the first one. Okay.
I mean, I played recorder
Done.
and bass recorder because I've
One
got
of the
big
big
hands, so big bass recorder.
Oh, okay.
And then piano for a little bit, saxophone for a little bit, violin for a little bit, but never. Jonathan started drum lessons, much to his memory loss failure. When he was 8, not 18.
I remember this because when I interviewed John, he told me he started when he was 13 or 14, and you sent me a message on my phone going he didn't. He started when he was 8. So yeah.
When he was 8, we bought him his first drum kit in 2000. So he was 8.5, 9, 8.5, and he took to it like a duck to water. And we used to have the drum kit down in the dining room, and then when his sister moved to uni, he went up to the big bedroom upstairs in the attic. So we said, great, yeah, we have our dining room back. You can take the drum kit up with you, John. Bad move. But anybody out there who wants to learn the drums, do not put a drum kit in the attic, because it can permeate all the way through the house.
And everyone else probably down the street.
We did have a neighbour who used to stop outside just to listen to John play.
No.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
He got good though.
He did. Well, he'd taken grade 8 in drums by the time he was 13.
That's incredible.
Oh well, according to him, that's the age he started. So
I know.
Oh, excellent. Well, can I talk to you about your knitting?
Of course.
Yeah. Where did this passion for knitting come from?
Well, it was while I was at the theatre school, and having left teaching. Oh, look at them.
The attention to detail on the Y fronts are just so good.
One of the students wanted to knit for her role in Under Milk Wood, and she just said to me, Annie, do you know how to knit? And I said, ooh, well, I haven't done any knitting since the children were babies, but I can, we'll have a go together. So I showed her how to knit, and then I thought, actually, this is quite fun. So I took it up literally 3 years ago again.
That's incredible.
3 years.
Bonkers.
Andy,
That's insane.
Could you get me the
your book?
Lifeboat Man, please?
Oh,
so
I thought you was going to get your book.
No, so Andy is into sailing. So I took up knitting, and I thought, I'll make Andy a Christmas present. So I knitted what I'll show you in a minute. Thank you, darling.
Oh.
First one.
So that was the
Excellent.
first one.
Oh, look at the seagull. Oh, Jonathan Livingstone.
And after I'd knitted this, I thought, I could adapt that basic pattern of the doll to do the boys. So I did the boys. And then you asked me if I could do Uncle Brian.
So obviously, out of all the Afghan mini-me's, Brian is the genesis, isn't he? He came first.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, and then from that, I then did the minis of the idols, and the finger puppets.
Like game.
Joe is currently missing in the post.
Yeah, my Joe's gone missing.
So there's the minis and then the finger puppets.
Mm-hmm.
But as Brian, when he was interviewing John said he didn't like this one of him.
Is it because he's holding 2 baguettes?
Is it because these trousers are too high-waisted?
Well, I know, but that was the pattern, you see. But since then, I have adapted. You know, I can stretch it. Because he said, I look so short, and the hair, what's the hair doing? And I said, well, that was your hair.
Yeah.
So
but I love it. But I love the fact that he's got Granddad's necklace on, hasn't he? He's got, sorry, not Granddad's necklace. He's got Granddad's ring on his necklace, hasn't he? I know. Yeah. It's just so sweet.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Has he got the ring on that one? Or was the ring fallen off? Oh.
I lost the ring.
Oh, no. He hasn't got it on the finger puppet.
How many?
And then after people seeing Brian, I don't know who was the first one after Brian.
I don't know. I don't know. Did you not then knit Lindsay's for her birthday in June, and then my little little lady
artist
in July? Yeah.
How many have you done now, Annie? Afghan.
About 60.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've done about 40 of this size, your size, Brian's size, and then I've done lots of other minis and all sorts of things, and I've done a dog.
Yeah.
I did Polly the dog, and then of course I was knitting hats and bags and everything else.
Talking of bags,
and baby clothes.
Yes, thank you, Annie.
My beautiful beach bag.
I just love it, and because I'm retired now, I'm not working. There's only so much cleaning you can do.
I know. I know exactly. Because you even knitted me. Yeah, because you even knitted me an easel to go with my one.
I did. So this is for one that I haven't been asked to do this one. I'm doing this one off my own bat for somebody. So this is the foot, the shoe, and the one leg, and then you join. This is just for me to when I sew it together. And then I need to do the t-shirt and the head, and it's all in one. And then it takes me about 15 hours on average to do each doll.
That's incredible. So which was your trickiest one was another question. Out of all of the Afghan creations that you've done, was there one that was like really tricky?
I think it's the ones with hair, with different hairs. I've got better at doing hair.
The beards are good.
Look at
Deb. Beards are genius. Right. Yeah.
I have got better, but hair is tricky because sometimes people have got long hair, and you see now.
Yeah.
I mean, Lee's bald underneath. I wouldn't do that now. He would have a little top, and then I would put the hair on it.
Yeah.
Poorly.
But it's great when I get asked to do people who have no head hair.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah, easy peasy. But as you're progressing, they are really morphing into the people that they are supposed to be, aren't they? It's just incredible. Some
of them I'm really chuffed to bits with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They are fabulous, and they've become a bit of an iconic symbol within the Afghan.
Definitely, they have.
They are brilliant.
Well, I was saying to John today, because I was speaking to him on the phone, I said, if it gives people joy,
it does. It gives people great joy,
isn't it?
Definitely. Absolutely, exactly. So, have you got a knitting or crafting hero? Is one question that we'd like to have answered.
A what?
A knitting or a crafting hero?
Well, I suppose the knitter Jean Greenhow.
Look at Brian's face.
I never thought of the concept of a knitter being famous enough to other people to
Yes,
know
of
who it
course,
was.
of course they are.
Jean Greenhow writes a lot of has got a lot of books, knitting books, with different things in that I've now adapted. You know, I use a basic pattern and then adapt to what I'm doing. So I suppose it has to be her, because if it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't have done any of them.
No, she's genius, because my mum knitted quite a few things for my boys who are men now, so in that sort of, you know, they're like nearly 30, and so like 30 odd years, well, not 30 odd years ago, but you know what I mean, 20 odd years ago, she knitted loads of stuff for my boys. So yeah, she is quite a big thing in the knitting world, isn't she?
Well, the clown, Lindsay, that was a Jean Greenhow. That was an adaptation of lots of her different ones, because I knitted the camera first.
I love the camera so much.
And just because I knitted the camera, I thought, oh, bugger, that's going to be much too big for one of these.
Do I have the biggest knitted doll that you've sent?
You do. You have the biggest. You so do. You so do.
So I then had to knit a very, very big doll for the camera.
Well, I'm honoured. Thank you. I remember Paul kept it from me for so long. And then he took it to London when we were working, and I got it on my birthday, which was lovely. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Any more
knitting questions?
I have got one more, which is, have you any other hobbies aside from being a master knitter?
Well, when the children were very little, and when I took a break from school so I could play mum full time, as well as running a play group, I used to do wedding cakes and christening cakes. And
what,
make sugar flowers and you know, decorate wedding cakes and things. So I love cooking and baking and yes, a lot of sugar icing, sugar craft work. Shall I show you? Shall I do a Lee? Let me do a Lee.
Yeah, do a Lee.
Yes, do.
Come back with some futsat for whatever it was called.
I'm on the pin. I've got pins.
Pouring yourself another glass. Bloody hell, Mum. On the bevs.
She's done a Lee now, look.
Okay, so this is what I made when Samantha turned 2.
Oh, so sweet.
And that's all it's icing, but it's, you know, it's got gum tragacanth and everything in it, so it's hard. And then I used to make roses like that to put on wedding cakes and things.
Oh my God, you're so clever.
But I can't draw to save my life.
No, you don't need to.
You don't need to, absolutely not.
So that's my other hobby, I suppose.
Excellent.
Have you got some questions, boss?
Yeah, of course. So obviously we're here. You're here because of John. That's how did we get you in the Afghan to begin with? I remember like seeing you posting, but I can't remember when you joined or how you joined or how you found out about the group. So it'd be great to know how you found out about Afghan.
Well, when John, bless him, started playing with idols, it wasn't my type of music. I will put my hands up and I will say no. And he used to come home and say, oh yes, we've just written a new song, and it was just music. And I said, well, how can that be a song? There's nothing to it. And then he'd play me something, and I said, no, darling, a song's got to have melody. No, Mum, this is right, okay. And I liked two-tone. I liked Thieves, early days. Yeah. And then I didn't really like a lot.
Okay.
And it was just... And then having ferried him and his drum kit to gigs where, you know, you'd take him down to the Thekla or wherever, start the bus, and pick him up again at 11:30, did you get paid tonight, darling? Nobody's exposure, and this goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on for years. And you know, seeing the boys, all of them, progress, because the Golden Lion was literally 10 minutes drive, if that, from home.
Yeah.
So, you know, we knew all the boys really well. And I suppose it was after Brutalism that I thought, actually, some of their music's all right. Yeah.
And they were touring at this point, making maybe a little bit of money for the first time.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And then I can't honestly remember why I joined the Afghan. I don't know what it was that prompted me. But my God, how glad am I that I did, because, you know, I have made some fantastic friends through it. And yeah, thanks, John.
John was the first band member to join the Afghan, and Lindsay was going to kick him out because Lindsay was. Do you remember? Lindsay was like, "I don't think I want him here. This is not the band's place. This is our place." And we had quite a big conversation about, do we kick John out? Do we kick him out or not?
Oh, I think he volunteered to leave as well, and I did call him up on it, actually.
Oh, bless him.
I remember someone dropped Marco in, and then Marco quit. He was like, "No, this is not my place. This is your place." How it's all changed, but yeah, we wanted to kick him out.
Oh,
maybe we did kick him out.
I think I don't remember now. They like it now anyway.
We'll have to ask him. But we love having you, Annie.
thank you.
And so, did you start meeting up with Afghan members at the shows? Is that how you?
I met the first Afghan members when they were on tour in New Zealand, because Samantha, our daughter, lives in Australia. So when they were going on tour, we thought, well, it'd be rude not to go too, because then we can also see Sam. So the very first meetup was either in Wellington or Auckland, can't remember which one now. So that was the very first time, other than a rough trade that I'd been to.
Yeah.
Stood right at the back thinking, oh my God, what have I let myself in for?
That rough trade in Bristol.
Yeah.
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah, I was standing right at the back, yeah.
Ah, there we are then.
Because I think the first time that I met you was when the boys were at, would it have been the Forum? So we met you at the Black Heart. It was when you travelled down overnight, didn't you? And you came down on the coach.
That's it.
And you had all the
dolls.
little eye dolls on you then. So that's the first time that I met you, and you experienced, I guess, maybe the first Afghan kind of meet-up.
Definitely.
Black Heart.
That was definitely the first time. That's when I went up on the megabus and booked into a hostel, £14 a night, thank you very much.
Oh, exactly. And I just love it. On that night, you were sort of stood up on the steps, weren't you? And like Joe was on the mic, and he said, "There's Annie Beavis, there's fucking Annie Beavis." It was just, and your face, you were just beaming. It was just wonderful. So
it was
good.
Very funny. The following morning, I went for a walk. I met up with John for breakfast and then went for a walk. And as I was walking towards the park, I don't know London terribly well, but
would it have been Regent's Park if it was?
Was it Regent's Park? Hello,
maybe.
Pussycat.
I think it kind of rings a bell.
Okay, so Lee and Joe were coming towards me, so they stopped, bless them, and gave me a hug and all the rest of it. And so I said,
it's all gone wrong. Look.
So I said, Joe, thank you very much for the shout out last night. I'm not sure about the Annie fucking Beavis though. So at the top of his voice in the high street, he yells exactly the same thing. That's Joe for you, isn't
That is Joe for you, absolutely, yeah.
So yes, that was the first time I met Gareth and Kirsty. They were the first two people I spoke to.
We were so excited. I was so excited because I'd obviously communicated with you via Afghan for a while, but to actually see you, touch you in the flesh was just, I'm so exciting, honestly. And, I can safely say now that you are my friend. You are one of my forever friends. And I'm just so thankful and grateful. I'm a little bit pissed, but it's fine. It's all good. I mean, I've got to say 2 gil pims and I'm tiddly already. But honestly, I just thank God for Afghan.
I do feel so blessed to have met some beautiful people. And not to have met some beautiful people that I'm still waiting to meet,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially after all this. We've got a few funny questions that have been sent in. I think you'll like this one.
Okay.
If you could be a mum to any other member of Idols, who would it be and why?
Oh. Well, if John's listening, he's got to cover his ears now. And Sam, she won't because she'll be in bed. it's sleep time in Australia. It would have to be either Joe or both, Joe and Mark, because they've got a little one, and then I can play grandma.
Oh.
And one last question about John. They've obviously been quite successful over the last year. So you've seen them from those tiny venues in Bristol to now seeing them at Alexandra Palace. How is that watching him on stage now in front of that many people?
I just well up, Linz. I mean, it's so magical for them all. Yes, I'm very biased, and I do kind of focus in and hone in on John. But all of them, I'm just chuffed to bits for them because it was a hard slog. Oh my God, it was a hard slog. They've worked and worked and worked at it. And I was looking today when you posted the video clip. And then, of course, it shows other Idols films and things, and the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people who have interacted with them through watching something or listening, or phenomenal.
It's huge.
Phenomenal.
You must be proud.
It gets quite even for me, Mum and Linz as well, from going back to 3 years ago and seeing him in those little clubs that we saw him in to now to the Ali Pally was like, I don't know how it must be for you. It must be incredible because he's amazing.
I love it, and it's quite sad really, because when they were playing in New Zealand and Australia, I stood to the side and didn't really partake of the crowd because I didn't feel it was my place. Well, that's not the case anymore. I'm right down the front.
Excellent.
Are we going to get a stage dive from you, Annie? At any
no. I was tempted, but I thought it would break everybody's back if I got up.
Well, it wouldn't be an Afghan call-in chat without a surprise guest asking a question. So, here we go.
Hey! Hello.
Hello.
There he is.
Hi, John.
Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
darling. How are you?
Hello.
Good. This is my thing now. I just gate crash everyone's.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Daddy can gate crash. Hang on, let Daddy come in and say hello too.
Oh, Dad. We start finding things now in the kitchen. So I left it at the fact that you want to be someone else's mum. What's that about?
Hey?
What's that about?
That's
Two,
not what
actually.
I said,
Two of
John.
them. Joe and Mark.
Because
you've got to sort that out, John.
Yeah, well, I think my video cut off then, so I left it.
Did you have
Been
a
a very
question?
nice chat to watch. Huh?
Did you have a question for Mum?
I did. It was kind of going in the right direction, but yeah. When you followed us around in New Zealand and Australia, what was your favourite gig or memory?
Ooh, I think the green room of Tuning Fork, was it? No, Tuning Fork? Was that the one in Auckland? That the green room upstairs, that was beautiful. I think the most memorable one was the gig in Wellington at Meow.
Yeah.
That was so hot. I mean, so hot. Chris was it Chris?
Yeah.
Yes, he was on the sound desk. He was mopping the ceiling because it was just dripping and it was going all over his sound desk. I wore a dress and we'd been into the pub before the gig and I was drenched. So I went out of the venue, went back to the pub, took my dress off in the loo, because it was a nice big loo, wrang it out, and then of course had to put it back on again. Oh, but at least it was a little drier than it had been. So that was, I think, the most memorable from terms of heat. But then of course meeting up with Samantha and her friends in Melbourne, and then sharing Brisbane as well with them.
Yeah.
That was lovely. And then to have you all, you know, the four of us,
that was a nice
together.
time.
That was very special.
I think putting the gig in Wellington in terms of heat, it was like Bermondsey Social Club and Hebden Bridge combined. If anyone was at either of those two.
Oh Jesus, I was at both of those. Yeah. Bloody hell.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that the owner of the venue had said that there was a heat wave in New Zealand at the time.
There was.
Which for us, it was our third day there, so we weren't even used to the heat. Poor Dev was just dying in the corner somewhere. And then he said that the aircon had broken as well. So,
well, you all had to keep stopping. You all had to keep stopping because you couldn't cope with the heat. I mean, it was intense heat.
Yeah, good time.
It was good.
Lost some weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, John.
That's all right.
Are you going to stick around for the quickfire round?
Yeah, go on then.
We on the quick fire round. We've got little John.
I reckon we're on to the quickfire round.
Get that one away.
Get that one out of the way.
Get it?
So it's your time for the quick fire round now, Annie. So
okay.
Top of your head, no thinking, straight away.
Okay.
Brutalism or joy?
Joy.
Oh.
Tea or coffee?
Gin. Coffee. Coffee.
Pedal bin or swing bin?
Pedal bin.
Practical. Your favourite ever album? Not Idols, but your other favourite album. Is there one you would just choose?
Led Zeppelin or Timeless Flight or The Plan by the Osmonds.
Keep it at the Osmonds. We'll hold you to that.
Led Zeppelin.
Lovely. Your favourite Idols song?
Well, it's not really Cry to Me. I love it. I mean, it's a cover.
So your favourite
song? Well, they didn't write it. So.
They didn't know. Brilliant.
Other than that, I would think it would be Divide and Conquer.
Nice.
Like that.
What's your favourite smell?
Roses.
Nice. Gin or Guinness?
Oh,
you've got her.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me that 20 years ago, it would have been Guinness, gin.
Gin now. What are you drinking tonight?
This is a cheeky little Tanqueray Seville.
Gin. Your cats or dogs?
Well, I'm going to upset the apple cart here and say cats, because this is the first time in my life since mid-February, that I haven't had a cat in my family. Because our cat died. I'd love a dog. Not practical if I'm travelling. Jonathan?
Yeah, cat then.
Cats.
Favourite film?
Favourite film? Shawshank Redemption and Pretty Women.
Oh, Good.
One of those is my worst ever film.
What, Pretty Woman?
No, the other one.
What?
Shawshank Redemption.
What?
Oh, honestly, it's awful.
But absolutely,
Oh.
I got shouted at that by my girlfriend because that's my favourite film, and I panicked when I talked to you, and I said, I don't know. And the last film I watched was I Am Legend, and I got slated. For it. How could Shawshank be your worst film?
It's just sentimental claptrap. It's awful. It's just it's no. I don't. We can talk about this. I don't like it.
We will.
Should we move on?
Okay.
Your worst internet purchase.
Ooh. Well, I'm sorry. I only buy things like wool and stuffing.
You buy yarn. What's the difference between wool and yarn?
Nothing. Well, yarn is not necessarily wool, so this is acrylic, so it's not wool. So all the little minis are acrylic, which is called, I suppose, yarn, but I call it wool.
Marmite, yes or no?
Just a little bit of Marmite.
What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Tripe.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
I was doing home economics A-level. We had to cook tripe
Oh,
and
the smell.
to eat tripe.
Oh,
I think all of us had literally the tiniest amount and we all gagged. It was disgusting.
It's basically dog food.
I don't know what it is, but it's disgusting.
What's your favourite TV show ever?
Ooh, I love things like Morse and CSI, and I love all those crimey things.
Good. I love more. What would your superpower be, Annie?
Flight.
Same
I'd
as
have to. Oh, did you say flight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. How many times have you seen Idols live? Oh, look, John's going to guess now. No, not every time you've seen Idols live, John. That would be quite a few.
I've never seen them
About
live.
10, 11, 12.
Is she right, John?
I think more than that. I don't know.
Have I?
I think
Slightly more. I don't know. Yeah, sure.
you so look alike, you two. It's so uncanny. You are just two peas in a pod, aren't you? Honestly.
Annie, who's your favourite member of Idols?
John.
Well done. We've probably covered this already. What's your favourite ever concert? Non-Idols related.
I think actually my favourite ever was James Taylor in Saratoga Springs up in upstate New York.
Wonderful.
Because although I had been to Nebworth really just to see Genesis while I was at uni, it was while I was studying in America and went upstate New York. No, it wasn't while I was studying out there. I think it was when I was working at the children's camp. And it was the first time that I had laid under the stars listening to music and watching a performer. So that was magical. So I think that one is the one that I will always remember.
Did you do Fire and Rain?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
It was stupendous. It really was. It was such a magical evening.
Annie, complete the sentence. Annie, complete the sentence. When I dance, I look
like a twit.
That's true, John.
No, she's all right.
You must have danced with your weddings and all that.
Yeah.
I do that, yeah. Your favourite band, non-Idols. Pick one. Just one.
Quick.
Led Zeppelin.
Led
Zeppelin.
Nice.
And the last question, Annie. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Mum.
Wife.
Friend.
Oh, cry. That's beautiful.
It's almost religious.
It's gorgeous. It's the best answer.
Annie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. John, you're like Renton Idol now. So we like rent an idol for us now.
Well, if I'm going from the first bit of this chat, am I going to get kicked out of the Afghan? So this will find me a place in it. You know, I've been in a couple of the Afghan things now.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a member.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you're right now. You've been. It's been.
You
for
can
you.
stay.
You can stay.
You're a good boy.
Thank you very much, Annie.
Brian's wearing
Very
his
much
hat
fun.
because that's what I knitted him.
Oh yeah, this is an Annie Beavis hat. Of course.
It is, yeah.
Well done, Dad. Good job.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
See you soon,
you.
boss. See you soon, Joy. See you soon, Bye bye.
Bye.